All right, well, I think I'm going to get started since I'm starting with some very basic logistical things. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We recognize this is a full day of workshop for some of you, so we're appreciative of you joining. Orit Kalman, I'm a senior facilitator with Sac State Consensus and Collaboration Programs, and with me is my colleague Sophie Correa Mendel, and we're supporting DWR's training workshops. We are on, I believe, number 5 as far as workshop, and I'm glad that you're joining us. I'm just going to go through just quickly the logistics and then the agenda for today. We want to encourage you to participate with questions, share your experience, things that you are thinking about as we go through the materials today. Use the chat channel if you need any technical support from Sophie. But we really want to make sure that as far as the content that you use the Q&A panel, this is what I as a facilitator will be focusing on to identify questions for our presenter today. So use the Q&A panel for questions. And we also would love to hear from you in person. So if you would like to, you can use the hand raise in your participant panel to get into a queue. And I will manage questions from both the participant panel and the Q&A. For those of you who are still getting familiar with the Q&A panel, you can use it to type questions. But you can also upvote questions that somebody else may have already put into the queue if you feel it's particularly important and relevant to you. So it can prioritize questions. And also if you want to respond or add comments to a question that is already been proposed, you can do that through comments. A couple of other things at the bottom of your Zoom screen, the menu on the right, there is live transcript. So if you would like to use it or not, there is an off and on option. So feel free to use that. And another thing to say about the questions today, that if we do not get to all of them, feel free to continue and provide your questions. And what we'll do is we'll summarize any remaining questions that maybe we haven't gotten to. And we will have another workshop January 12th on baseline and targets, and we will incorporate those questions into the content that is being discussed at that workshop. So our intent is to make sure that all questions are addressed throughout these workshops. So for today, our workshop, the webinar is going to focus on reporting a supplier's compliance with the per capita water use targets, which is a 20% reduction in urban water use by 2020 per SBX 77. We're going to start with an overview and just focus on the training. And then we have very specific topics that we want to cover, going over the SBX 77 forms, looking at gross water calculations, exclusions, and adjustments. What happens if supplier doesn't meet the 2020 target, and we'll wrap up by providing you our schedule that we have for upcoming training so you can start planning for that. We will take a break halfway through the workshop, just a 5-minute stretch break, and we hope that we'll get to all the content and that we will get to cover all the questions today. At registration, we asked you to share with us and let us know about your experience with preparing the Urban Water Management Plan. This helps our presenter know what they need to focus on and where they may need to put more emphasis in their presentation. And you can see that for many of you, a third of you, this is your first time. But you do have some support from colleagues who may have had some experience with the plan. Some of you, it's your second time preparing it. So there are clearly differences between the 2015 and the 2020. So we're making sure to highlight those differences in the workshops. And then there's just a spread of people who have a lot of experience, some who have never done this before. And we hope that this workshop is going to be helpful to you today. Before I invite our presenter, Gwen Huff, I just want to give Julie Ekstrom an opportunity to welcome everyone and provide a little bit of a context for the workshop.
Great. Thanks, Dorit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the 5th Urban Water Management Plan training session. And we, as Dorit mentioned, we appreciate your participation and recognize that this is a particularly busy day for some of you with back-to-back webinars, and we appreciate your engagement with learning all of this information, and we appreciate your questions and participating to give us more feedback. So I wanted to welcome Gwen Huff. She worked at DWR for the 2 previous urban water management plan processes for 2010 and 2015. And we are fortunate to have her back as a retired annuitant. And she is helping us with these trainings and the rest of the urban water management plan assistance as we get into that phase. So welcome, Gwen, and she's going to be the presenter today on SBX 77 2020 compliance. Thanks.
Okay. Hi. I'm trying to share my screen, and I think I've got it. It should look exactly the same. Yeah. Okay. Hi. So a lot of you, I'll be looking forward to working with you again on 2020. And today we're going to talk about SBX 7-7 2020 compliance. I hope to go over it in a manner that's step by step, and hopefully will answer your questions and just in the presentation and questions it brings up, we'll answer in the Q&A sessions afterwards. Okay. Oh, sorry. So the way what we're gonna cover today, first we'll do an overview, kind of a review of the legislation, which is SBX 7-7, Senate bill in the extraordinary 7th session. And then we'll talk about the forms. There are 2 forms. Last time there was just the verification form. Now there's a compliance form. We'll talk about 2020 gross water use, the exclusions and adjustments, and what happens if the 2020 target is not met. So first we'll start with a review of SBX 7-7. So it's also known as the Water Conservation Act of 2009, and it's in California Water Code, section 10608. The act requires the state of California to reduce urban per capita water use by 20% by the year 2020. And to meet this, each retail urban supplier must develop and meet an urban water use target for the year 2020. This 2020 UWMP is the opportunity for the retail supplier to demonstrate whether it has achieved its 2020 target use reduction. DWR Methodologies is a document that was developed by DWR with the stakeholders, with an urban stakeholder committee, many long meetings to flesh out methodologies for calculating these water uses. DWR was directed by the SBX legislation to provide detailed guidance, and this guidance is found in this methodologies document. It's the foundation for the SBX forms and Chapter 5 of the guidebook. It provides 9 separate methodologies. There's a link on the screen that can get you to the methodologies document. Some of the methodologies include gross water use, service area population, baseline water use, compliance water use, criteria for adjustments, and there are others. But that's what we're basing our guidance on and the code. Today's presentation is intended to assist suppliers to calculate their SBX compliance in accordance with the legislation and DWR methodologies. Baselines and targets. What I wanted to say before I actually read off the screen is that in order to estimate what your target is for 2020 that the supplier is aiming for, they also had to calculate a baseline, which is roughly a 10-year, can be a 10 or 15-year period, roughly centered on the year 2010. So you establish baseline water use. From that, you set your target. So baselines and targets, do I need to recalculate or calculate? Most suppliers will not need to recalculate. Oh, sorry. Will not need to recalculate their baselines and targets. They will have completed this in their 2015 Urban Water Management Plan. And you will probably not have to redo the verification form, which is baselines and targets. There are circumstances that require calculation or recalculation of baselines and targets. So I'm going to go to that. Suppliers that must or may recalculate their baselines and targets. The service area has not changed. Oh, excuse me, has changed, but not just based on new construction. Let's say you've taken on a new public water system, so your service area has changed. You're going to need to recalculate baselines. The supplier did not submit a 2015 UWMP, which is where most people will have done their baseline calculations. And so if you didn't do that, you will have to recalculate your baselines. There's an option to update the 2015 calculations if better data has become available. So in 2015, you may have calculated your baselines and targets using the SBX verification form, but somehow you've gotten better data since then and you want to recalculate. You have the option to recalculate using that form. There is a workshop that is specific to baseline and target calculations. That's coming up on January 12th. This workshop, we're not going to talk very much at all about baselines and targets, only in as much as there's overlap with compliance. Compliance is what we're talking about. 2020 compliance is the focus of today's workshop. Ori, do you want to do the poll? Or Sophie?
Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I was getting the poll ready. So for the 2020 plan that you're preparing, will you calculate or recalculate the supplier's baseline and target? So we're going to wait a few seconds for people to respond. We've given you different options based on what Gwen just covered. Okay, and I'll wait 10 more seconds.
This is really helpful. I just want to say that DWR doesn't see who responds what. So in case you're worried about that, which just helps us inform the training.
Yeah, so here we go. And I'll share the results with everyone. You can see that a good majority service area has not changed, but then there are a significant amount of people who are not sure at this point whether or not they have to recalculate.
Okay, good. So if you're not sure, look at the criteria that I discussed in the previous slide, and it's also in the guidebook, and attend the January 12th workshop. Okay. I think I am screen sharing. There we are. I want to go back. So we just did the poll on baselines and targets. Are there any questions about SBX 7-7 as a whole and baselines and targets?
I don't see any hand raises and I don't see any questions. And so maybe it'll be helpful to just continue on and we'll just capture all the questions as they come in.
Okay. I know some people responded to the poll saying they weren't sure what baselines and targets were. So I'll just in a brief summary say, In that legislation of SBX 7-7, it requires that each retail supplier establish what their baseline water use was in approximately the period of 2010. And then from that, they have 4 methods for calculating a target reduction for the year 2020. That's baselines and targets. And all those calculations are done in a form called the SBX 7-7 verification form. And we'll go over all of that in the January 12th. So let's talk about those forms. There's been a change since the last draft of the guidebook. We have added a new SBX form. For baselines and targets, the form that you may have used in 2015, for those of you that did it, you filled out the verification form, and that's all the baseline calculations. But we have a new form that is for the compliance. So, yeah. Verification form is only for calculation of baselines and target water use. The new form, the compliance form, is for calculating 2020 actual water use and comparing that to the 2020 target. There's also very briefly, there are some additional forms that are in the submittal tables 5.1 and 5.2. These verification forms and compliance forms are Excel workbooks with multiple tabs. It's cumbersome to put them into the body of the plan, so they're summarized with tables 5.1 and 5.2. And all of the forms are, and this is an SBX 7-7 requirement, everything, it reports water use in gallons per capita per day. And we use the term GPCD, and that's all over the forms. You'll see it over and over. So it's a term that if you're not familiar with now, you will become familiar as you do this. And GPCD is calculated by taking the volume of water, which we use the term gross water for SBX 7-7, divided by the population served. And that gives you, and this is a simplified calculation. There are other parts of the calculation, like conversions from annual water use to daily water use, maybe taking acre feet, making that gallons. So this is just very simplified, volume of water divided by population served. The population served, we had another workshop on that, and you can find it when Julie gives you the link at the end where all the other workshops are housed. We've already done this one on population. There are specific methodologies that you may use for population, so we won't be discussing that today. We will be talking about gross water today. Let's see. And the term gross water is specified in code, in the SBX code, and it's the total volume of water entering this distribution system of the supplier. And there are certain exclusions which we're going to go into. Okay. So we talk about the baseline and target calculations, and that's done in the SBX verification form that requires data for the baseline years. And it requires it provides target calculations. There are 23 tables in the entire form, 13 are required and 10 are optional depending on which path you go down. So here's just a sample table from the SBX verification form. The SBX forms are different than the submittal tables, and they're distinguished right away by that title, which includes SBX 7-7 right at the beginning. This particular table is for the baseline calculations, and you'll see that you're going to have to fill in, or you did possibly already fill in the information for all the years in your baseline period. The year, the population, the gross water use, and it will calculate for you the daily per capita water use, GPCD. So as an example of your baseline calculations, here's one of the tables from the verification form. And again, most of you won't have to do that. Only suppliers calculating or recalculating their baselines and targets for 2020 will submit this form. Then there's a 2020 confirmation form, and this is new to 2020. We didn't have it in 2015. It's streamlined for the 2020 calculations only. It has 14 tables, 7 are required, 7 are optional. And again, just to point out that SPX tables always have this in front of their table number. And it's very simplified. It's only 1 year, right? Just 2020. You put in your gross water use, you put in your population, and it will calculate for you your 2020 GPCD. All retail suppliers will submit the 2020 confirmation form. Also, we talked about the summary tables. I want to point out that these are not SBX tables, and you can see they don't have SBX in front of the table number. They have the word submittal, and that's another set of forms. That's the largest set of forms that cover all of the topics in the UWMP. So because the SBX has a lot of calculations, we have that verification form, we have the compliance form that are separate, but they will be summarized in the submittal tables 5.1 and 5.2. 5.1 summarizes baselines and targets. This is what if you've already done your verification form, you will refer back to your 2015 verification form and plug in the values. And table 5.2 is the compliance, the 2020 compliance form. And just to point out, this is where the rubber meets the road. Table 9 demonstrates whether a supplier has achieved its targeted reduction for 2020. Did the supplier achieve, there's the last column right here. Did the supplier achieve the targeted reduction for 2020? This value is automatically filled in with a yes or no by WUI data and by the Excel tables that we provide. And it takes your actual GPCD from 2020, what you actually used in 2020, compares it to your target that you calculated in the verification form, subtracts these deductions, which we're going to talk about. That's where you're going to put them in here. It's your adjustments. And then it will answer the question, did you achieve the targeted reduction, yes or no? So this is really the important table here. Again, it starts with SBX, and this yes or no is entered automatically. Where do you get the SBX forms? They're not ready yet, very close, but WUI data, which stands for Water Use Efficiency, WUE, we have a data portal for quite a number of things, including urban water management plans. And the website is right there, wuidata.water.ca.gov. And if you go to the resources button, that's where the tables are going to be available when they are available, and we'll let you know. Julie, I'd like to ask you, what other resources could they expect to find at that tab?
Sure. So right now all the draft Excel templates are available there. That includes the ones for energy intensity reporting or energy use information reporting, which can calculate energy intensity for you. So it's a separate workbook because it contains instructions specific for the 3 or 4 tables. There is the submittal tables. So, and all of these that are there right now are draft. They're all labeled draft 2 that went out with a public draft. So some of them we've had some slight revisions, but not major. So there's the submittal tables that Gwen mentioned. Those cover the tables that for each chapter that are discussed in the guidebook. And those would be the template of those is useful to you for those of you unfamiliar with this process, that you enter your data in there, and then as it helps you develop your plan, and then you will submit the data in those tables that you've put into those tables into this WUI data portal once it's been updated with the final, revised and updated for 2020. We won't do that process to update the WUI data portal until we finalize the tables and the guidebook, because we can't have any, needs to be consistent. So let's see, we also have the SBX 77 verification form is located there, as Gwen said. There's a target method 2 tables, there's a target method 4 tables and calculator. There is the drought risk planning tool. It's an optional planning tool, but it was based on the suppliers' expressed interest in having a tool to assist them put more of this information together, and helps them calculate their drought risk information. And so that then gets put into the submittal tables. So there are 2 planning tools actually. And what that planning tool, if you're interested and haven't heard about that, and haven't looked through the guidebook so far, we did a training session on that on December 4th, and it's available, the recording is available on YouTube, which we'll post that link in a little bit. Also, there is a reduced reliance on the Delta template with an example or concept of how to fulfill what's Appendix C in, which is not a requirement of the Urban Water Management Plan, but that is also explained in a training that was recorded. It's also available on YouTube for December 3rd is when that was conducted. There is, let's see, I think that is all that's been put there right now. So that's under the resources button in the WUI data portal. There will be, so we will update those when they're finalized, and we'll send an announcement out to the Urban Listserv. If you're not part of the Urban Listserv yet, that's where we send our announcements about this Urban Water Management Plan process and what trainings are available. I'll put the email address to request being added to that list if you aren't already part of it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Julie. So if you haven't gone to WUI data yet, as you get into developing the plan, and certainly when you go to submit the plan, this is home for you. This particular view that we're looking at right here is the public portal. If you want to get into it and start putting in information for the supplier, once your plan is already adopted and completed, you would enter through this sign-in. And we'll talk about how to walk through this at a later workshop sometime in March and April. But just to say, this is the public portal. Anyone can get into here at any time. But to enter data, you'll go through another process through the sign-in. And like I said, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and you can't enter data yet because it's not ready for the 2020 plans, just as a side note.
When we get it ready, then we'll do the walkthrough in like March or April and make an announcement on the listserv. Okay, so that's where you're going to get your SBX forms when they're done. Are there any questions so far about the forms?
There are a few questions that we can follow up on. In terms of what Julie just covered, there was a question of how to get a login to the WUI data portal.
Sure. So right now, there isn't a lot of benefit of logging into the WUI data portal for urban water management plans because it is not ready to receive any data for the urban water management plans. But you might be able, but if you do sign in, I think you'd be able to access your previous data for your supplier. But there, let's see, I think when you push sign in, you can register, and then when you want to associate yourself to a particular agency or supplier, then you request that through the system. So it'll email us, and then we approve it if you're affiliated with that supplier. And if you're a consultant for the supplier, or your email address is not associated with a supplier, then we just check with the supplier to verify that you're associated with with them and should have access to their information. So if you
Okay.
push sign in, you should get the option to register.
Thanks, Julie. So Gwen, going back to the question of when to recalculate the baseline, there's a question, should I recalculate baseline if the municipal water system annexed a previously unincorporated area? How significant would the annexation have to be to trigger recalculation? And the example provided is that this particular municipality incorporated approximately 1 block of commercial parcels.
There's no threshold that's in the code. It simply says annexation. And I'm going to make a distinction about that annexation. It has to be a previously developed area. So if you've just built onto that area and then expanded and now that's part of your service area that it wasn't before, that's not what we're talking about. That's accounted for in all of these calculations in the forms. But if you're annexing an area that's already developed and you're taking it on, presumably it already is part of another area that has calculated their baselines and targets. So there's complications there and you have to start all over. There is no threshold. So maybe we could discuss this and give some kind of guidance, but we are always bound by the code. We cannot interpret the code. You may want to talk to your own supplier, your own legal counsel, because the best we can do is point back to the code. And as I say, it's silent on that point in terms of the threshold.
Thank you. Another question, a clarifying question with regard to all water entering the system. So, and compliance, does that include unaccounted for water loss?
Water loss is part of, yes, when in chapter 4, okay, and you're not familiar probably with that guidebook, but we have a whole section, not in SBX, and it talks about your water system and what water goes into there. And there's a line for water loss. So taking from those tables in chapter 4 that talk about what goes into your system, you plug that number now into your SBX and do all the SBX calculations. So water loss is accounted for in the tables from chapter 4.
Thank you. Okay, another clarifying question. If we're not recalculating the baseline, do we have to fill in the verification forms with the numbers from 2015 or completely not fill the verification form and just do the compliance form?
You won't have to redo the verification form if you're not recalculating. Go back to your 2015 plan where you will find your verification form. And I just recommend that you include it as an attachment to your 2020 UWMP as a reference document, but you don't have to fill it out again.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Does an agency first submit SBX forms to the WUI portal just shown, or does an agency first submit SBX numbers via the UWMP, and once UWMP is adopted, then WUI portal is accessed and forms submitted?
The SBX forms are part of the UWMP submittal and part of the UWMP adoption. So your steps would be do all your calculations for every chapter, the submittal tables, the SBX tables, go through your public hearing process, get the adoption. At that point, then you submit everything into the WUI data portal.
Okay, thank you. There is a follow-up question to the annexation question we had before. In this case, we conducted a population study that increased the service area population. Methodology was approved by DWR. Would that require a calculation?
So I guess I need a little bit of clarification. Your population from your baselines, you've got better data on your population from your baseline, is that correct?
It says that the study resulted in an increased service area population.
So I'm going to assume that you've found better data for your population for the baseline period. You have the option, you may recalculate your baseline if you choose. You might do the recalculation, see if it benefits you in any way. You're not obligated to do a recalculation, but you may.
Okay, thank you. I think that's about it. Participants are asking for various links, so we'll put those in the chat, a link to the YouTube videos, and there is a question and a link to the listserv, so we can provide those through the chat. And let's see, of course, the question that keeps coming back is when the guidebook and all the tables will be finalized.
Yep, that's the question.
Question.
We're working on it
Yeah.
all the time. We expect to have the tables finalized by early January, and then the guidebook soon after that. I can't say how long it takes to get through the process of DWR's approval, but hopefully that will be speedy, since it's the public draft had to go through that process. So fingers crossed it can be January. But we also don't want to make mistakes, so that you all have clarity as you're preparing them. But all your public comments and then the comments we've received in these training sessions have been incredibly useful for making sure that we find errors or, update things to make them more clear. So thank you for your input.
Thanks, Julie. Last question that we have here. I saw there was Regional Alliance SBX 77 tables in 2015. I don't see them in the 2020 set of tables available on the data portal. Will Regional Alliance SBX 77 be available for 2020?
Yes, it will be. We just haven't gotten there yet. But as we had baseline calculations for every individual retail supplier, the verification form is also going to be for a Regional Alliance, and then there'll be compliance form for Regional Alliance. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, thanks, Gwen. This, I think, wraps up. One more question. Will there be training webinar on the mechanics of submitting the plan? What gets submitted and where?
Yeah, Julie, we have a date for that one, right?
Yes, it's in
Adoption.
February. The plan preparation, adoption, and submission. I can't remember what the date is, but it's in early February. We'll get to that when the slide is at the end, so hopefully you'll be able to stay. And we'll be announcing. We'll send out. The plan is to send out tomorrow a schedule of the upcoming trainings for the new year, so that you have a heads up. Now that we have a schedule. Thanks,
Julie. So we wrapped up all the questions, and I think, Gwen, that's a sign for you to keep going.
Okay, so as you know, the GPCD calculations are it's gross water divided by population. Population was covered in another webinar, which is available, it's recorded, and we're just going to talk about gross water calculations. The definition of gross water then is, and it's a term specific to SBX 7-7, total volume of water, whether treated or untreated, entering the distribution system of an urban retail water supplier, with certain exclusions and deductions. Exclusions and deductions are taken when you're doing your baseline calculations and your compliance calculations. These exclusions and deductions can be used in both. And if you use them in one, you need to use them in the other. Adjustments are another animal, and that is only for your 2020 compliance calculations. And we're going to go into the exclusions, deductions, and adjustments in more detail coming up. So this is just the high level. This is what gross water is, water into your distribution system with certain exclusions and adjustments. Let's talk about first the exclusions and deductions. And these are used in baseline, target, and compliance calculations. So that's the verification form and the compliance form. Like I said, if you use them in one, you use them in the other. And we're going to go over each one of these individually, but the high level is they are recycled water, indirect recycled water, water placed in long-term storage, water conveyed to another urban supplier, an optional, you can deduct water that's delivered for agricultural use, and optional, you can deduct industrial process water. Remember the methodologies document that we mentioned earlier, that we had a whole, long process with stakeholders, all the methodologies that are in there. Methodology 1 details the exclusions. We'll summarize it here and we'll summarize it in the guidebook, but the nitty-gritty details, if you have questions, I always recommend going back to methodologies. Let's go into these one-on-one. Exclusions and deductions. The first one was recycled water. This one is easy. Don't put it into your calculations. Recycled water, water suppliers are not required to report their recycled water use, nor demonstrate any reduction in recycled water use for purposes of SBX 7-7. It is out of the calculations. It has been excluded from all calculations of gross water. Now, if you have questions about recycled water, we won't be discussing them here because it has nothing to do with SBX 7-7, but there is an appendix in the guidebook, Appendix M, and it provides detailed guidance on how to report your recycled water. There is one version of recycled water, indirect recycled water. If you look at the graphic on the right, indirect potable reuse. So municipal water is used, goes to wastewater treatment, goes to a water recycling facility, and then they add the water, that recycled water, into a reservoir or inject it into a water basin, and then it becomes part of the water that goes to the drinking water treatment plant and goes back for municipal water use. This is called indirect potable reuse. Indirect because it goes through the reservoir and the underground. It's not direct potable. Okay. So indirect recycled water. The supplier uses recycled water to supplement raw surface or groundwater for indirect potable reuse. That is the definition. Suppliers using this exclusion, you're going to have to provide us some information. We have an extra form in the verification and in the compliance forms if you're going to deduct your indirect potable. Again, go back to methodology 1 if you want specific guidance. And this is the table that you would have to complete if you're doing an indirect recycled water deduction. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you can see there's if you're augmenting surface or if you're doing groundwater recharge, these are the fields that you would need to fill out. And in the end, it will calculate the total volume of indirect recycled water entering the distribution system. Another exclusion is long-term storage. If the distribution system storage is greater at the end of the year than at the beginning, it indicates water has entered the distribution system but has not been delivered to customers. Deduct that from your gross water use because you didn't actually use it. Conversely, a decrease in the storage indicates that water has been drawn from storage to meet customer demands and must be added to calculations of gross water. Note that these calculations apply only to storage in the distribution system. And I'm going to also say the distribution system is defined in the methodologies document, gross water use methodology. Do not include changes in storage outside the distribution system, such as Lake Oroville. If a change in the distribution system storage is expected to be insignificant, or if data needed to calculate the change are not available, the supplier may forego this deduction. It's an option. Another exclusion is water that you send to another supplier. You're not using it, so it's not going to count as your water use. Any water volume sent through the distribution system to another water utility or jurisdiction shall be identified and subtracted from gross water use. We don't have a table for that, how you calculate it. It does go into a final table of deductions, but we don't have a special table like we did for indirect potable. Same for agricultural water use. You didn't use it for urban water use. That's all that we care about. So a supplier may choose to identify and exclude the volume of water delivered through the distribution system for agricultural water uses. These volumes shall be based on account records and meter data for connections in the distribution system for the commercial production of agricultural crops or livestock. And that is defined any place from which $1,000 or more of agricultural products were sold or normally would have been sold during the year. That's from USDA and Census. Another note in the methodologies, it does specify that for purposes of calculating gross water, retail nursery water use is not considered to be an agricultural water use. Nursery water use. And the last deduction is industrial process water. This water used by an industrial user for producing a product or water used for research and development. You can deduct this from your gross water use. It's an optional exclusion. It's allowable if the supplier meets certain criteria that make them eligible for this deduction. If you choose to do it, we have additional tables that you'll complete for this deduction in both the verification form and the compliance form. This process water deduction went through a large stakeholder process. It got added to the water code. It will be in the guidebook in Appendix J as the process water regulation. We've taken those regulations, tried to distill them down to just the elements that you're going to need to put into the tables for this deduction if you choose to use it. So the process water tables, there are two sets of them. Table 4C, this allows the supplier to select eligibility criteria for using the process water deduction. First, you fill this one out. Which criteria can I use that will allow me to do the deduction? You'll have a subtable for whichever one you choose. Okay, now you're eligible, and now you're going to actually do that deduction. This table calculates the volume of processed water. You put in all this data. This is a verification form. It's only for 2020, but if I was looking at, this is the compliance form. If I were looking at the verification form, it would have all the baseline years. And it will calculate for you, based on your inputs, the volume of processed water that's eligible for exclusion for this customer. That means for each customer, you have to do a separate table. It's a lot of calculation. For some cities, it's worth it. I don't think many people used it in 2015. So we talked about basically your gross water deductions, also known as exclusions. They're all summed up in this table, the SBX table 4. And again, this is just for the compliance year. If it were the verification form, you'd have all the years for baseline. You put your volume into the distribution system, your gross water, but now you take out any water that you exported, change in storage, indirect recycled water, this extra table, water for ag use, and processed water. And these are all of these will be subtracted from your volume into the distribution system. And now you have your gross water. Volume into the system minus deductions gives you your gross water. That's a lot. Are there any questions on gross water exclusions and deductions?
Yes, we have a few questions, starting with the non-potable, the recycled water that you talked about. There's a question, what about a separate non-potable system, not recycled water, with only 3 large customers? It is untreated surface water.
Raw water. You know, off the top of my head, I can't answer that. Do we have a place to put questions that need answers? And I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Yeah,
Unless then-
we can save this question to follow up on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, another question, can we deduct water used for snowmaking?
It's not in the code. Unless it, no, you might be thinking about industrial. It's not, no, it's none of those exclusions that are listed in the code. No. If it's not in the code, you can't do it.
All right, a couple more questions. Do agricultural or processed water deduction data need to come from dedicated processed water meters, such as not serving offices and restrooms associated with the agricultural or industrial facility?
It says for agricultural, the information has to come from, let's see, records or meters. Go back to it. For agricultural water use, it shall be based on account records and meter data. Okay, so that's agriculture. That's pretty clear. Processed water is more complicated. There are different ways to calculate processed water. Some of them do require meters, others don't. So I would say if you're interested in the processed water deduction, go into the methodologies and or go into the appendix with the processed water regulation and go through the steps. You could also look at the tables from 2015 because from the verification form, it has the processed water tables are in there and you can see what the requirements are for the 4 different ways that you can calculate it.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment on that
Mhm.
question about it doesn't appear to say dedicated meters. So you would have to have metered data, but you know, account records and meter data. I believe that if you are clear in your description of what you've done and how you've apportioned, perhaps you know, it's really the supplier will have to defend their analysis if there was ever a challenge or anything along those lines. So, you know, work with your legal counsel if you're unsure about something, about whether or not, you know, you are can defend your interpretation of what the water code says that you have to do.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. I think that's a point that we that could be important throughout this whole process to make sure that you can defend it. And if you have questions, talk to your legal counsel.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. Checking in with regard to deductions related to natural disasters such as wildfires.
Oh, so we have 2 changes you can make to gross water. One is the exclusions and deductions that we just talked about. And after the break, we're going to talk about adjustments, which is another section of the water code that's only applicable to 2020. And it was to 2015, but let's just talk about 2020. Not applicable to the baseline period. So these exclusions and deductions were applicable to baseline and compliance. Adjustments such as wildfires come up in the adjustments, which will be after the break.
Great, thank you. A few more questions to clarify. I understood you said that table 4D would have to be completed for each customer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and our water use is approximately 85% industrial with 350 industrial accounts. How would we handle that?
Well, you're an unusual case, I'll say that, and that is an awful lot of accounts. You have to account for each user and if you look at the processed water regulation, you do have to be able to quantify the industrial water process water. And the only way to do that is by user. One suggestion might be you don't do it for all of your industrial users. Maybe you have some that are actually going to give you a big benefit and others that are going to be inconsequential. That's the best guidance I have. I don't know, Sabrina or Julie, if you want to chime in on that. Or not.
I think we're leaving it to you. You know, again, choose your defensible stand.
And how much work you want to go to for the processed water deduction.
You know, in many cases you have, you know, the top, you know, 10% of your high water users in any water users in any category account for most of the water use. So you might want to look to see who, like when, you know, suggested, maybe not go for everybody. Look to see who are potential significant contributors to your deduction, and then, you know, focus on them. If it doesn't meet your needs or goals, then perhaps, you know, look at the next tier, because you don't have to do this. So this is just a benefit for you. So choose your benefit wisely.
Okay, we have a couple more questions, just checking in on very specific types of processes. One is, can we deduct water used by hospitals that was not accounted for? Would this fall under industrial? And the other one, I'm just going to call them both and you can address them, Gwen. And the other one is asking if cannabis is an ag crop.
It's not excluded. As long as it meets the criteria of over $1,000 a year. And see, what was that? Yeah. What do we consider commercial agricultural production? Yeah, it's not excluded. The only one that is excluded is retail nursery. Question: is it a nursery or is it a farm? Well, I have to. Maybe you want to talk to your legal counsel on that because it's not specified.
And again, whatever assumptions and decisions you make, you need to provide an explanation.
Yes.
Okay. And go ahead.
For the hospital, that's an institutional use. So it's not an industrial use.
It's institutional. Okay. Thank you. All right. I think that addresses all the questions that we have so far. I don't see that anyone wants to ask a question in person. And so really a good time to take a quick stretch break, and we'll be back at 3:35. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so hopefully everyone is back. Gwen, you ready? All right.
Okay, shall we?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about the exclusions and deductions, which may happen if you choose to in baseline and compliance. Now, only in the compliance year 2020 can you do these other things called adjustments. That's what we're going to talk about. Oops. The legislature recognized that factors outside of a water supplier's control could cause water use during a compliance year, such as 2020, to exceed the water supplier's target, despite your best efforts to improve water use efficiency. These 3 adjustments are allowed for 2020, and we're going to go over each one. One is institutional water use. Substantial changes to institutional water use due to fire suppression, extraordinary events, or new or expanded operations that's specific to institutional. Economic adjustment, substantial changes to commercial or industrial water use from increased output, and weather normalization, differences in rainfall and evapotranspiration from the baseline period to 2020. So these are the 3 allowable adjustments. And I want to just point out that we're covering the institutional new or expanded operation. We're covering that in the economic adjustment. So basically the economic adjustment is going to be commercial, industrial, and institutional. They'll be dealt with the same way. Methodology 8 establishes the criteria for these adjustments to the compliance daily per capita water use. So that first one, substantial changes to institutional water use that have occurred during the reporting period from either fire suppression services or other extraordinary events, or new or expanded operations. We won't be covering that second one here. That's going to go on the next slide. Fire suppression or extraordinary events. This category of adjustments accounts for one-time extraordinary events that substantially increase the supplier's compliance year water use, did not occur on a regular basis, either in the baseline or compliance reporting years. There are 3 steps to calculating this and then reporting it. 1, document that the event was extraordinary. Again, this isn't a form. This is up to you to develop your narrative, be able to defend it. Document the event was extraordinary. Document the volume of extraordinary institutional water use. And then calculate the institutional water use in gallons per capita per day. Because once you get it into GPCD, then you can start putting it into forms for all these SPX calculations that are in GPCD. The second adjustment is an economic adjustment, which is commercial, industrial, and institutional, otherwise known as CII. Substantial changes to institutional water use from new or expanded operations, or substantial changes to commercial or industrial water use resulting from increased business output and economic development that have occurred during the reporting period. So if any of you had a big boom in 2020, which increased your water use like crazy, even though everything else you did was really efficient, you have an option here to adjust for that. You have to document the adjustment, provide a narrative description and numeric water use data to substantiate this adjustment. Calculate the change in the compliance year, that's 2020, commercial, industrial, or institutional GPCD compared to that in the baseline. Correlate it with institutional or development indicators. Demonstrate that the increase in CII water use was directly related to net expansion in institutional operations or business and economic development between the baseline and compliance years. This is necessary to prove that the increase in CII water use is driven by economic factors and is not a result of service area population growth or a change in water management. Third, document the CII water use reduction programs and efforts of your agency. Describe in the demand management section, which is a section in the Urban Water Management Plan not covered in this workshop. Describe in that demand management section of the Urban Water Management Plan, or if you, I'm sorry, that's old, through the council's BNPs. That should have been removed from here. Describe the CII demand management measures the water supplier has implemented. Water suppliers not implementing CII demand management measures, or DMMs, are not eligible for the compliance year economic adjustment. So it's a mouthful, but that's how you would do an economic adjustment if you had a real boost in water use due to increased CII output. The last adjustment is called weather normalization. It accounts for differences in evapotranspiration and rainfall in the baseline and compliance reporting periods by removing the effects of weather on water consumption. Weather during the compliance year 2020 may be quite different compared to the baseline period. This may create differences in water consumption to make it more difficult for a supplier to meet its 2020 target, even though you have been implementing a lot of water efficiency practices. The weather was against you. So the question that this answers is, what would GPCD have been during the compliance year 2020 had the weather been the same as it was during the baseline period? Weather normalization. It's a very complicated process, and there are statistical models to estimate how monthly production responds to changes in weather and provides you a deduction amount for weather normalization that you can put into your SBX form. Model options. DWR has a model, which we'll talk about, and there are other models, and we'll mention that, so I'm going to go into those. So the DWR model, all the information on that is in this document there on the right. Again, the Urban Stakeholder Committee, they did a lot of work. We really appreciate the time and the thought that they gave to this document, as well as the methodologies. In February 2016, DWR, with guidance from the Urban Stakeholder Subcommittee, the Subcommittee for Weather Normalization, developed an Excel-based modeling tool for weather normalization. DWR expects to run the model for suppliers, but only if the supplier is not meeting its 2020 target. That is, it takes quite a bit of data to run the model and some know-how of how to run it. So DWR expects, and we did offer this in 2015, expects to be able to run it for suppliers, but you don't need it if you've met your 2020 target. And so we're not going to run it for you, right? That's just unnecessary. If you have not met your target and you need to find some deductions, we'll run it for you and see if this helps. So if you're interested in the details and it's not for the faint of heart, you can go to this document and read all about the development of the model, which includes review of other models, model inputs, as well as another document in the appendix called DWR's Weather Normalization Guidelines, which will be needed for the next slide. One more. Weather normalization, there are other models. One of the ones that mentioned and more well known was one from CUWCC, that stands for California Urban Water Conservation Council. They've now changed the name of that organization to CalWEP, but the model is known as the CUWCC model. And oh, you know what? I want to go back one more to the DWR model, and I forgot to say something. That DWR cannot run this model for 2020 yet because it relies upon weather data for the year 2020, monthly data, right? 2020 is not over and the data takes some processing. So if you're hoping to get DWR to run this model for you right away, you've got to wait. We haven't worked out our process yet and we don't have the weather data is not available. So just hold on and it will happen. And just FYI, what the model needs to run is monthly weather data, production data, and population. Okay, enough said on the DWR model. The California Urban Water Conservation Council model was reviewed by DWR, and in the process of the stakeholders. They evaluated this weather normalization model and found that it was able to adequately adjust water use for changes in weather. So this is a viable model. We have the model, we have some tables, we're thinking that we're going to try and package them up and put them on the CNR website to make them available. That process hasn't been totally ironed out yet. But remember, you can't do it until 2020 weather data is available anyway. We're still working on getting this available to you. There are other models. You can use other models. Other agencies have developed models. But if you're going to use a model, it has to conform to the criteria that's in methodology 8. And remember in that previous stakeholder document I talked about, one of the appendices is DWR's guidance for weather normalization has to also adhere to that guidance. So before I move away from weather normalization and the DWR model, I wonder if, Julie, did you want to say anything more about weather normalization models?
I think you did great, Gwen. I mean, the uncertain, we still have the uncertainty. We don't have the data process. 2020 is not over. So, and like, just as Gwen said, that was, it takes some time to process the PRISM data out of Oregon State University into the correct format. And then, it's processed, it's a grid data set. So there are, 26,000 grid cells that it represents.
Yeah.
So that means 26,000 files that need to be processed into this correct format that feed into the model. So both the CalWEP model and the DWR model use the same weather data. So they both would be on hold until that was processed.
And we believe that other models, as far as we are aware, would also require that weather data. So that's on hold until the weather data becomes available. So the adjustments that you can make only in 2020 that were outside of your control, even though you were doing a great job and, oh my gosh, I didn't meet my target, so how can I adjust? We just talked about them. Weather normalization, economic adjustment, and extraordinary events for institutional use. You're going to do all your calculations. You're going to put the adjustment in this cell, economic in here, extraordinary in here. This spreadsheet will total them up, subtract them from your actual, the water use from 2020 in GPCD. And then it's going to compare my adjusted 2020 GPCD compared to my target, and it will complete this cell. Did you achieve the targeted reduction for 2020? Simply yes or no. SBX table 9. That's where you put your adjustments. Okay. There's one adjustment that people are wondering about that we need to talk about. What about adjusting for COVID? Well, as I said, DWR, Water Code does not specify any allowance for adjustments for changes in residential water use based on anything. We went through the adjustments. There's nothing for residential. DWR adheres to the code and cannot make any changes. The adjustments that we just talked about, these are the only ones allowed: institutional, economic, and a weather normalization. Nothing else is included in the code. So what do you do about that? Before I go into the recommendation, I'd like to say that one report indicates most utilities have reported a decrease in total water use due to COVID. That may or may not be true for you, but the general trend is CII water use goes down, residential water use goes up, but overall it's a decrease in water use. So it may not stop you from meeting your target. However, if you feel it does, DWR has a recommendation, and this is not in code, that therefore it's only a recommendation. Try to help you figure out a way to address this. If you believe that increased residential water use due to COVID has prevented the supplier from meeting its target, demonstrate that the supplier was on track to meet the 2020 target. You could do calculations for 2019 and show that you are going to meet it. Include as much description and documentation on how COVID has impacted the water use. So document, document, document. However, it is not an adjustment in the SBX tables. So if for some reason you are not meeting your 2020 target, you simply have to fill out the forms and show that you're not meeting your target. But you can provide, if you think COVID accounts for the difference, why you didn't meet it, you can provide a justification within your UWMP. This is a report I just wanted to point out to you on issues of COVID and municipal water use. It doesn't talk an awful lot. It doesn't talk about UWMPs, but it talks about some issues relating to COVID and possible issues that might happen when businesses reopen and buildings are reopened and additional water use, and what happens if the work at home model continues. Well, maybe you should consider adjusting your conservation efforts a little bit if that's going to be the case. So I'm just pointing that out as a resource for your information. And we have a poll question now. And this is specific to the adjustments that we talked about, right?
Okay, and I just shared the link that you had on the slide previously. I know people can't pull it off so yeah, I put that in the chat for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's see. Our next poll question is about planning to use an adjustment for your 2020 water use. And so let me launch that and then see where participants are in terms of, given what you just covered, what are their thoughts on adjustments? So as people filling this out, it looks like most people are either they're not going to, or they're not sure whether they'll have adjustments. And I'll leave it for a little bit longer for people to provide their input. So I'm going to close it just in 5 seconds in case anybody else wants to weigh in, and then I'll share that with everyone. Here you go. So you can see for the most part, people are not sure or don't anticipate to use the adjustments that you just covered.
Very useful. Thank you. And that's, I just want to do a shout out to Orit and Sophie for all the logistics and of putting on a conference or a workshop, and doing the polls is very helpful.
Thanks, Gwen. We have just one question which you've spoken about regarding COVID and shelter in place. Making a comment, the bedroom community saw a large increase in overall water use as people stayed home. And you talked about how that balances out with the industrial. So I'm going to assume that we've answered it. I don't know that there's anything else you want to add to it.
Well, how it could balance out with industrial, but
Right.
But if you don't meet your target because of COVID and the teleworking, or, you know, the changes and how many people are staying home to telework, then you should explain that and document, like Gwen was saying.
Yeah, and the suggestions of Gwen to use the 2019 to show that you were on target and explain how that changed with COVID. Let's see, another comment. I think that because most agencies are well within compliance, it is not necessary to consider including adjustments. So that's just a comment from a participant. Okay, let me see if there are any hand raises. I don't see anyone. I think that's it for all the questions.
Okay, wow. All righty. I thought it would be more because this was new for 2020, but great. I'll move on to the last section. What if a supplier does not meet the 2020 target? Well, 3 things. It affects your grant and loan eligibility, and we're going to go into each one of these. DWR has to do a report to the legislature on UWMPs, so compliance and not compliance would be in that report. And it's a public record. Grant and loan eligibility, this section of the water code states that an urban retail supplier is not eligible for a water grant or loan, not any grant or loan specific to water, awarded or administered by the state unless the supplier complies with this part. And I will say that in 2015, our unit definitely coordinated with the grants unit and with the water board. And we ensured that UWMPs were submitted and complied before they could get funding. There are some exceptions. 2, in fact. Water supplier is eligible for a water grant or loan if the supplier has submitted to the department for approval a schedule, financing plan, and budget to be included in the grant or loan agreement for achieving the per capita reductions. The other exception, a water supplier is eligible for a water grant or loan if it has submitted to the department for approval documentation demonstrating that its entire service area qualifies as a disadvantaged community. So, grant and loan eligibility is one consequence. And I put these together. Basically, it's public information, right? Whether or not you met your target. And it is in the water code that you should meet that target. DWR, so you, in your own process, you had a public hearing, or you will have had a public hearing for your UWMP. It's a public document. You post it on your website, make it available to the public. DWR does a report to the legislature. Here's the code that authorizes us to do that report, or requires us, to do that report. There's also the WUI data portal, which public has access to. It is a public portal. So although DWR has no consequences besides the water grants or loans, just FYI, it's a public piece of information. And what's outside of our control, we have no control of anything that, any third party that might have an interest. Okay. What if the supplier doesn't meet the target? Questions?
Maybe we can give everyone just a minute to type in questions, see if there are anything. I don't see any hand raises or questions, so
Great.
maybe we can move. Oh, I
Yeah.
see one hand raised, so let me see. I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Jiwon Song. I'm going to unmute you so you can ask your question. Go ahead. You can ask your question now, Jiwon Song. took a question. Okay. Maybe not. Let's see. Another question. How do we know that my entire community is disadvantaged? Can you talk a little bit about that designation?
There is definitely a place for that. I don't know, Sabrina or Julie, if you know where it is, or we can, respond later in however we're picking up these questions. But I don't know that answer. I know that there's a place that exists. You can get that.
I'll see if I can find it real quick. But my understanding is that DWR's definition of disadvantaged community it's based on the mean household income. We used to have a tool. I'll check. But you don't have to hold on.
Okay, and maybe Julia, just identify where that information is available for those who are interested. So another question, wanting to ask Gwen to return to the slide summarizing the 3 consequences of not meeting the target. Just a quick review of those 3 things.
That the slide you want?
I think that was the intent. So affect grant and loan eligibility, report to legislature, and public record are the 3 consequences. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was it. And then there is another response to the question on disadvantaged community. The new DAC map is on Cal EPA website for those who are interested.
DAC, I remember that was the acronym. Disadvantaged Communities, DAC. Yeah.
Okay. I thank you for that. And I don't see any other questions.
So that concludes my presentation. And Ori, would you share your screen from here now? Thank you, everyone. A lot more participation and questions. Very good, very helpful in our guidance and us developing our guidance. Look forward to working with you as you develop your 2020 UWMPs. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm just going to have to go down. Apologies for that.
Yeah, and real quick, let's just make sure that because there were 2 answers about the tool to identify if you're a disadvantaged community. So DWR does have the disadvantaged community mapping tool, and it uses, looks like 2018 and 2016 data. It's at different levels, so you're encouraged to use that. I'm almost certain that DWR's definition of disadvantaged community is based on mean household income. Okay. And I think that's in the water code about that.
Thanks, Julie. So now we're back to you to wrap up the training workshop and talk about upcoming.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for those of you that stayed on, and extra thanks to those who have been in multiple DWR webinars today. Thank you to Arit and Sophie for running such a smooth meeting, and for Gwen for all of her technical knowledge and a great, I think, very clear presentations of pretty complicated information. So I hope that this is very helpful to you. So let's see, for our next, we have, concludes the 5th and last training session for December for urban water management planning preparation. And like I said, I think earlier, that these are focused webinars. In previous iterations of the urban water management plan, workshops were in person and covered all the pieces in one day. And so what we're offering is modules, basically, so you can learn topic by topic, and they're being recorded. So you can watch them in whatever order that you need to, or go back to refer to them. And we appreciate that you came live to ask your questions, because that will help people that are watching this recorded too. So this is the fifth one, and then we have 4 more scheduled for 2021. And I guess I should note that that playlist, you can find it there, but we have a shorter link. And tomorrow we'll be sending out a notice to the urban list, the listserv about this schedule and with the YouTube playlist. Because so far we have 3 that are posted there, and then these 2 should be posted by next week. So the upcoming trainings, we have starting January 12th, we will be going over the baselines and targets for SPX 77. And January 13th in the morning, again, is on how to incorporate climate change considerations into your urban water management plan. Just note that as you read through the water code, or there is already draft guidance on the climate change considerations, that this is not specified, exactly what you have to do to consider climate change in your urban water management plan. So we'll go over some kind of example cases where you can find information, how to think about it. January 27th in the afternoon, we have a longer session because it's on preparing a water shortage contingency plan. And as you may or may not know, that is a new requirement that's, at least in terms of the specific elements that are required and it being an actual plan, that is prepared and submitted by July 1st, 2021 with your urban water management plan. And in February, on the 10th in the morning, there's going to be a session on preparation, adoption, and submittal of your urban water management plan. And then later in the spring, once the WUI data portal, which is where you're going to submit electronically your entire plan and all of the tables, this will, once that's up and running and ready for you, we'll hold a webinar so that we can walk through how to submit your plan. And that submission process is something that you do after you've approved it through your public hearing and board process. So like I said, the trainings are recorded, and each of them is posted the week following that they occur to the DWR YouTube page. And we have other materials like the slides for each of these if you're interested in a PDF of the slides for any of these sessions. They're available on the WUI stakeholders SharePoint site. And if you are not already a member of that, anyone can request access to get those materials, but please contact James Campagna. His at the email address of wue@water.ca.gov, and he'll give you access, or a login access. So thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday coming up. And yes, thanks.
And lastly, just let us know if this was helpful, and just add in the chat any comments or suggestions for how we can improve the training, since we have several coming up in January, February. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.